Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Tri Clara Suci. I'm from English Education Department at 5F, especially from Group 3. Today we are going to talk about language maintenance, language shift, and also language death. Language maintenance will be explained by me, and then language shift will be explained by my friend Yayang, and also language death will be explained by my friend Fauzia. Okay, let's start. The first topic is about language maintenance. Here I have 4 points about this topic. The first point is the definition of language maintenance. The second one is about why we have to maintain our language. The third is about factors affecting language maintenance. And the last is about how can a minority language be maintained. So, what is language maintenance? Language maintenance refers to the situation which speakers or a group of speakers pretends to use their language as the main language in all spheres of life. According to Abdeldi 2017, said that language maintenance is needed to face the threat of a language shift. Here I would like to give you an example about this topic. For example, I come from Indonesia, so I use Indonesian as my first language. It's my main language. Then I moved to Turkey. There are so many groups of communities come from Indonesia there. Then we pretend to use Indonesian as the main language in all spheres of life. So we still pretend to use Indonesian as the main language. We don't use Turkish or Turkey language as the main language in our lives. So it's called language maintenance. We maintain our language still as the main language. We don't replace that, but we still maintain it. So there is a maintain of a language in here. We still maintain our language, so it still become the main language in our life, wherever we are. The next point is about why we have to maintain our language. According to Crystal 2003, quote in Zuri 2018, there are some reasons of why we have to maintain our language. The first reason is create cultural diversity. The second is keep ethnic identity. The third is enable social adaptability. The fourth is increasing security for the children psychologically. And the last is increase the sensitivity of linguistics. So, the maintenance of vernacular language is very important because language shows the ethnic identity. As Holmes 2001 states that where language is considered as important symbol of a minority group's identity, the language is likely to be maintained longer. The third point is about factors affecting language maintenance. According to Edwards, there are 7 factors affecting language maintenance. The first factor is generation. Generation is still a central construct for language maintenance and language shift research, despite the problem encountered in categorizing generations for analytical purposes. For example, in Hispanic or Spanish language group in California, Mills 2001 found that there was a tendency for only using English in many localities as early as the first generation. Her results showed that acculturation correlated negatively with Spanish use. This indicates that the acculturation process, which is related to generation, is negatively correlated with first language maintenance. The second factor is about age migration, and length of residence. The younger an individual immigrates to another country, the more likely it's for them not maintain their first language, but instead shift their language use to second language over time. Similarly, the longer an immigrant stays in the new country, the more likely they are shift their language use to the dominant one and use less of first language. For example, there are a group of German speakers who moved to Australia after the age of 16 years old. Then, they suffered considerable first language loss after living in Australia for 20 years. This indicates the significance of age at migration and length of residence in the new country as a variable for language maintenance as well. The third factor is household compositions. The lower number of speakers in the household, the more likely the language shift will be towards English, because if there are only a few people to whom one can speak first language, then one is likely use dominant language more. Therefore, extended family have a more extensive network of first language speakers as compared to someone living alone or nuclear family. The fourth is attitude to first language. Language attitude divided into instrumental attitude and integrative attitude. An instrumental attitude to a language is mostly self-oriented and individualistic, while integrative attitude is mostly social and interpersonal orientation. Generally, instrumental and integrative attitude towards a first language are associated with language maintenance and shift respectively. For example, the comparative Tagalog-speaking school student in Philippines and Australia, the both group have a positive attitude towards first language oracy, but they have less than positive towards activities literacy in first language on the whole, with a preference for literacy in English. For your information, orientation or oracy is a language ability is related to oral or speaking skill. Meanwhile, literacy is language ability related to writing. The fifth factor is gender. The earlier study stated that the women are the preserve of language culture because they maintaining their first language more than males. A finding usually attributed females spending more time at home and thus acquiring lower level of second language. The sixth factor is domain of language use. Fishman 1999 conceptualized domain as all of that are rather unambiguously related, topically and situationally, to one or another measure of institution of society such as the family, work spheres, education, religion, entertainment, and the mass media. The domain where language is used are multiple. The choice of the language used in the different domains can be indicative of the state of the language as well as predictive of the future state of the language among the individuals in the community. The seventh is about pre-migration experience. Pre-migration experience with language maintenance in the country of origin predisposes the group to a motivation to maintain a language or culture in the context of another dominant language or culture, as well as giving the experience of the ways in which this can be achieved. The last point is about how can a minority language be maintained? Okay, there are 7 ways to answer this question. The first way is a language can be maintained and preserved when it's highly valued as an important symbol of the ethnic identity for the minority group. The second is if families from a minority group live near each other and see each other frequently, their interaction will help to maintain the language. The third, for immigrant individuals from a minority group, the degree and frequency of the contact with the homeland can contribute to language maintenance. The fourth is intermarriage within the same minority groups is helpful to maintain the native language. The fifth is ensuring the minority language groups is used at formal settings such as schools and worship places will increase language maintenance. The sixth, an extended of normal family in which parents, children, and grandchildren live together and use the same minority language can help to maintain it. The last way is institutional support from domains such as education, laws, administration, religion, and the media can make a difference between the success and failure of maintaining a minority group's language. Okay, to make it clearly to understand about the material that I have been explained before, now I would like to give you a video from YouTube about language maintenance in daily life. Let's check the video.
Oke guys, jadi itu bisnya. Sendiri guys, dan ini rame banget. Wow, mantap. Oh ini juga orang Indonesia. Siapa namanya? Chris. Bahasa Inggris kan? Program bahasa Inggris. Jadi di Waseda ada 2 program, Jepang dan bahasa Inggris. Aku yang Jepang, dia bahasa Inggris. Oke guys, kita sudah sampai di main campus. Jadi ini yang ciri khas utamanya ya. Gedung ini, belakang ini. Ini guys, gedung 22. Ini gedung khusus orang-orang asing. Jadi di sini ada belajar bahasa Jepang. Jadi aku lantai 7, lantai berapa? Kita beda kelas ya guys. Jadi kita mau naik lift dulu. Oke, mantap. Di sini ada temanku, orang Indonesia, Mas Firman. Mantap. Bacanya Kikang Riko Gakubu Oyo Surigaka. Artinya Fakultas Teknik. Terus ini jurusanku matematika terapan. Terus Shushim Indonesia. Jadi ini asal negara asal Indonesia. Konnichiwa, Koyo to moshimasu.
Neo と申します。シンガポールから来ました。よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。賛成。
私も賛成ですね。
なんか朝だったらフレッシュでしょ。
そうだよね。
そうでしょ。Beres kelas. Kamu sudah kelas ya? Aku udah selesai. Yes.
Okay, that's all of my materials about language maintenance. Thank you for watching. I hope it can usable for all of you, and the next materials will be explained by Yayang. Okay, let's I say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.